friends, welcome back to Alpha Physiopelvic Care, all things pelvic health. My name is Anastasia Varva and I'm pelvic floor physiotherapist practicing pelvic floor physio here in sunny Cyprus as well as online. I have over 10 years clinical experience working with different pelvic floor conditions, postpartum recovery, recovery after operations, incontinence in both gender. Today I would like to talk about very sensitive and specific topic that I also seen these cases in my practice and treated them, and this is how constipation can impact our pelvic floor and how it can actually make us incontinent or contribute to rectal anal incontinence. If you find my videos useful, if you find them informative, if you enjoy watching them, don't forget to subscribe and press that like button. You can ask your questions in the comments or let me know about your experience, and first of all, it sounds a little bit contradicted when we talk about constipation and pelvic floor weakness, because it seems like things are kind of getting stuck. You know, when you're constipated, you're getting stuck. So why things would fall out, they would leak, or what would be happening? Let's talk about a very basic anatomy and physiology of defecation. I have here the background my Christmas tree. So I got myself a bulb from a Christmas tree that will represent our mass of our fecal mass that is moving through our digestive tract and wants to exit. So when we have a fecal mass approaching from the rectum, okay, this is kind of almost last part before anus, and the exit approaching the anus, there are two sphincters that are kind of blending in between each other, yet anatomically they are separated. One is so-called internal sphincter that is automatic and we do not consciously control it. And one is the external sphincter, is the one that we can control, and is the one that we control as well together with our pelvic floor muscles whilst we, for example, find the appropriate space to defecate. So the normal mass, not constipated, normal mass of bowel content is moving, it touches, irritates the internal sphincter. It feels like, okay, there's something going on. I need to send a signal to the brain. Hey brain, we want to go and poo. Brain knows, it goes. You find the appropriate place. You relax your pelvic floor, the internal and external sphincters relaxes, and the contents come out. As soon as the contents are out, the sphincters automatically contract, close pelvic floor muscles that have been descended, extended, relaxed, kind of you bear down, they've been relaxed, things are coming through, they also go back into their resting state, which is not complete relaxation, there is some tone in resting state, and everything is fine. We're back to our continent self until the next time. What is happening during constipation, or what may happen during constipation, and how it can impact our pelvic health? The reason why I decided to talk about this is many people live with constipation as a normal state. They report to me, I've been constipated all my life, or I've been constipated for so long. It is what it is. This is how it is. Sometimes they do try to sort it out, and sometimes they just take it as life's reality and they don't do anything about it, which I believe can have detrimental effects on the pelvic floor and pelvic health. Again, this is your content. It's going down, and for some reason you cannot go to the toilet normally. It can be that stools are too hard. It can be that you do have already pelvic organ prolapse, rectocele, and stool gets stuck in rectum. The rectum might have been overstretched after years and years on constipation. There can be different contributing factors. And the thing is, here is a bit of a chicken and egg thing with constipation and pelvic floor. It can be, the reasons can be anatomical, physiological, or dietary. and then they impact pelvic floor, but then also pelvic floor will start to impact the constipation, because inability to go normally and poop normally means that the mass, fecal mass, staying longer in rectum, the fluids from them get reabsorbed even more, they get drier, they accumulate, it's harder to remove them, and this is the vicious circle. We have to try really hard to get them out, which puts strain on our pelvic floor. So let's say this hard mass is sitting there. It accumulated, it overstretched the rectum. The rectum loses its sensitivity, so we might not feel that much of an urge, or the urge might be there and then it's gone very easily, especially if we ignore it. Overstretch happens, the sphincters also lose that sensitivity, and by now they are still okay, but we have to go to the toilet. Sooner or later we have to get ourselves there. Most of the people, what they do, they will sit hours and hours on and strain and strain and strain, trying to get something out, which most of the time does happen, but through a lot of strain, on the sphincters, constant stretch, through a lot of strain on the pelvic floor. When this happens again and again and again, you get overstretch and overstretch and overstretch, the sphincters and pelvic floor struggle to return back to that normal, contracted, naturally engaged state in order to keep us continent, that kind of become overstretched and loose. This is one thing. Another thing is, if you do suffer for long-term constipation, you might be taking some laxatives, and the laxatives might cause diarrhea, and then you think like, whoa, I have a diarrhea now. But very important to keep in mind such fact as overflow diarrhea, where you do have contents that are dry, that are sitting there in rectum and overstretched, and the rest of the contents being influenced by laxatives, and they overflow around the impacted, the hard contents. They come out and they reach the sphincters. And when the sphincters, especially internal sphincter, feel the liquid, they automatically want to open and get rid of that liquid. This is how the body reacts. This is liquid, we need to open, we need to get rid of it. You remember when we have this diarrhea, this crazy diarrhea, we want to go right here, right now. There is no way we can hold. This is body's natural protection, because when we have diarrhea, that means this is something wrong, some bacteria maybe, or things are not right. We need to get out and clean it out. This is how body works. So when you have this constant fluidy leaks over the impacted stools that already overstretched the sphincters, okay, pelvic floor overstretched, sphincters overstretched, leaks are happening, and that internal sphincter picking up the signs of, oh, this is fluid, I need to open up and let it go, you end up with leaking liquid feces. And this can be really, and it is really stressful situation with the people. They can't have a social life, they can't have activities because this is totally or partially uncontrollable for them. They're really scared of the smell, of the soiling. This is really hard stuff to get. So people are coming to me with fecal incontinence. I'll take the history, I'll do assessment. I might find some weakness in the area, and sometimes the weakness is not as great, sometimes it's greater. And then when I take the history and I'll ask them, how's your toileting habit? So you said that the stool is usually liquid. You are leaking liquid stool. It's not like you're losing a lot of solids, solid stool. And they would say, I have constipation, like I'm constipated, but I leak liquid contents. And this is something that will make me think about overflow diarrhea, and this is a complex issue to address. If we do only pelvic floor physiotherapy by strengthening pelvic floor, okay, strengthening the area, trying to strengthen the sphincter, the glutes, trying to strengthen the pelvic floor in order to avoid that situation. If they continue to be constipated, they will again strain against the pelvic floor. And if they continue constipated with overflow diarrhea, They will have irritation from the liquids on the internal sphincter, which will continue opening up and getting weaker over the time because of constantly relaxing and relaxing, and the problem will not be sorted. Therefore, I always suggest my clients, if we will do what we will do in pelvic floor, but you need to address the constipation, because if you want, it will be one step forward, two steps back. Other techniques, of course, to help to relax the pelvic floor, or to help to see if the synergy is correct when they're going to the toilet, or to correct rectocele issues. There are several ways how we can correct rectocele. There are different behavior patterns we can do, arrange the toileting position and so on. But if you have overflow diarrhea, it will impact your pelvic floor, and if you do not sort it out, then it will not be as effective, the pelvic floor physiotherapy, or it's just going to be one kind of piece, and then you will have to take the other pieces, such as lifestyle, maybe medication, to sort out the rest. If you guys suffer from constipation, I would not just ignore it and try and live with it. I would suggest to address it, and it is a multifactorial thing to address. It's not only diet, it's also sometimes enemas and certain procedures, medications, laxatives, a bit of trial and error, making sure that the bowel stays empty. Sometimes it's just pooping on the schedule, or try to go to the toilet on the schedule. It will take some time in order to get the rectum back in better shape, and kind of to shrink it back in the normal size, to reduce that impact on the pelvic floor and irritation on the sphincter, so they start to become normally sensitive to normal stimuli and not overly sensitive and overly relaxed. It is a long road. I will not be lying and saying, yeah, a couple of times, few laxatives and you'll be sorted. Sometimes it is the case, but most of the time no. But it is definitely something that is worth having a look at and addressing with several specialists. Usually it's your GP, it's a dietitian, pelvic floor physio, sometimes gastroenterologist. It depends on your case. So I would really urge you to pay attention to that if this is your case. I hope this video was informative for you. I hope it helped to shed light on maybe some questions you might have had. If you do have more questions, feel free to pop them into the comments. You can now do it anonymously. You can post your questions anonymously, to keep things more private. And thank you very much for watching this video, for taking your time, and we'll see you back very, very soon.